House Bill 250, from my perspective, was passed because the legislature was not pleased with the way that local school boards have been representing the people or have not been representing the people. As I mentioned previously, when we were trained for our new board member training by the Utah School Boards Association, there was actually a role play on how you interact with a constituent in the grocery store. You do not tell them that you were opposed to whatever the board policy was. You talk about the positives in it, and you say, I can appreciate you have concerns, and we'll be addressing this. But you are not to tell them, first of all, that you disagreed or that you voted against it. You are not to tell them that you might agree with them and that you think that the policy was wrong. We are told repeatedly that it is the will of the board, that there is not a minority or a majority opinion on the board. The code of conduct that was never voted on or signed by the board but was just foisted on us says that we will vote, and once we vote, then we support whatever the will of the board is. And if that is in violation of what we promised you, the legislature is saying then we should hold true to what we promised you in running and in being elected representatives of the people. And yes, I absolutely support House Bill 250. The Utah School Boards Association did not.
Okay, I'm going to be the voice of opposition here. But let me give you an example. You've got a child that you're dealing with. You need to discipline this child, and the adults are opposing each other on their views. They remove themselves, they discuss the issue, come to a consensus, and come back and implement that. Now, if one of those parents goes around the back of the other one and tells the child, you know what, I really didn't agree with what your father said, what does that do to the child? It completely undermines what is going forward. Do I believe I need to stand up and voice the concerns and the needs of my constituency? Absolutely. Am I going to be one who drinks the Kool-Aid and just follows what goes on? Absolutely not. But I think that it's important that you go to those meetings, you voice your opinions, you're working with a group of people that hopefully have educated themselves on the issue and are all working towards the best interests of the students. Come to a decision. It might not be the one that you wanted, but you come to a decision and then you need to move forward with it, having the support of the board and not undermining it by going around and telling your neighbor and your person in the grocery store and everybody else, oh, that was wrong, that was bad. It doesn't mean you support it. If it's a strong enough issue, it's going to come up again, it can be addressed again, and maybe things will change as time goes on. But I feel like it's important that once a decision has been made, not by just one person, but by a board of people who are all trying to work together, that once that decision is made, they need to move together and hopefully be heading in the right direction of where our public schools want to be going.
I believe that Representative Draxler came to PTA and asked us to support it, and we took a no position on it. Not a negative, but absolutely no position. We weren't for it, we weren't against it. Personally, I was for it. It did, from what we were told in PTA, it came from Canyons District and their former superintendent saying that no school board member could talk to anybody that he didn't approve of. No patron, no student, no teacher, period. No staff member, nothing, unless he approved it. So that's where I understand this bill came from. Frankly, if you ask me a question in the grocery store, I'm going to answer it as me. I'm not going to answer it necessarily as a school board member unless you want the school board line. If you want that, I'll give that to you too.
Well, I'm for it too. I think that I should have the right to be able to tell you what I think, and I should be able to hear what you think, and I should be able to talk to anyone I want to and be able to research whatever I need to research to be able to come up with the right answers. I'll be the first one to say I'm not smart enough to do this job all by myself. I would have to do research. I would have to talk to people. I would have to get in there and read, and I plan on spending most of my time reading and finding every bit of information that I can, and part of that is finding out what you want and what you think and how you feel about things, and so, and how administration feels and how teachers feel. And so I'm very much for it.